Whoppers. The broadcast begins in 10 seconds. WDBC Internet Television is on. I am an avatar for Michael P. Borgia. The broadcast, originating from deep behind enemy lines, is brought to you by dailyborg.com. Conservative politics for the thoughtful. Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated. As the Obama campaign continues its death struggle for re-election, some of the claims and statements it has made are so absurd it has caused an explosion of pants on fire, Pinocchio and Whopper awards to be granted to the president's campaign. Many sneers have even come from reliable liberal fact-checkers. We'll review some of Barack Obama and the left-wing's biggest whoppers when the broadcast continues in a moment.
Engine.
Check.
Thrusters.
Check.
Fuel.
Check.
Computers.
Check.
Social Security.
No check, go direct.
That's right, Patty. A few weeks ago, I went online to godirect.org to sign up for direct deposit. It's easy to do, and I got my cash at warp speed.
Wow, it's fast and easy. I'll sign up right now to make sure I'm prepared for our next mission.
It's yours?
No,
My mother said she found it in your closet.
I don't know. One of the guys must have...
Must have what?
Look, Dad, it's
Where
not...
did you get it?
Dad,
Answer me. Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
Parents who use drugs have children who use drugs.
Political campaigns are well known and often revealed for their over-the-top rhetoric. But Barack Obama is establishing a new standard for absurdity, having been given 9 awards on Daily Borg's Whoppers page. That includes 6 double Whoppers with cheese. To share a look at some of the more memorable gaffes of the Obama administration, Kristen Jones joins us to help.
Michael, thank you. This weekend the president stated that if you built a small business, you didn't really build it. In fairness, we must point out that this quote is taken a bit out of context. Obama's previous sentence referred to government building roads and infrastructure, and if you have a successful business, it's partly as a result of government projects. So there's some truth to what the president said. But it was phrased in an insensitive and clumsy manner that again shows just how hapless Barack Obama is when you take his teleprompter from him. He rambled on further for nearly another minute about the greater glory of the government and how small businesses are saved by its good works. But actually, small business is being suffocated by government. That suffocation is why big business gives so much money to Democrats. Because they know that liberal government will create regulations that will stifle small business, the biggest enemy of big business.
A new favorite of mine was the slanderous comment made by Obama plumber Stephanie Cutter, when she accuses Mitt Romney of committing a felony. This is the most recent desperate gambit to try and undercut Mitt Romney. The comment immediately set off a firestorm of Pinocchios and pants on fires from independent fact-checkers. The saddest thing about Cutter's comments is not their lack of honesty, but that she made them believing that the American people are too stupid to understand high finance. Obama held a 2-point lead in the Rasmussen poll over Romney that day. 4 days after Cuttergate, he's now 2 points behind.
2 weeks ago, in the face of an abysmal jobs report, Obama called it a step in the right direction. That was the president's response to yesterday's anemic jobs report, the third such monthly report in a row. May's number was adjusted to 77,000 and April's to 78,000. Unemployment remained stuck at 8.2%. What is fascinating is that while the president is willing to use a micrometer to measure his own successes, he is all too willing to use a yardstick to measure those of his opponent. On June 26, 2004, then State Senator Obama, chosen to give the Democratic response to President Bush's weekly radio address, said this in response to that month's jobs report: for them, the basic rewards of a middle-class life, rewards that we once took for granted, have become an elusive dream. In that month, the economy created 310,000 jobs and the unemployment rate fell to 5.6%. But 8.2% and 80,000 jobs for Obama is a step in the right direction.
In May, Barack Obama claimed it was Republicans who ran up wild debts and it was up to him to clean it up. It's true that when Barack Obama became president, we were just coming off a year where the federal government had just run up the second largest single-year budget deficit in history. $437 billion. Within 2 months of taking office, Obama signed legislation increasing non-security domestic discretionary spending by 25% and tossed in a stimulus that cost a total of $1.2 trillion with interest owed to the Chinese. The deficit for Obama's first year, $1.31 trillion. That's about exactly 3 times the deficit he inherited. The next 2 years weighed in at $1.30 trillion and $1.29 trillion. He promised that he would have the deficit he inherited by the end of his first term. That would be $217.5 billion. With this year's deficit on track to once again come in at $1.3 trillion, not only will Obama have broken his promise, but actually increased the deficit to 6 times what he promised it would be.
We can't let this broadcast go by without throwing a whopper the vice president's way. In May, Joe Biden complained he was tired of being called a middle-class Joe. This whopper is a beauty. How does Joe Biden, a man who owns a $2 million plus mansion, call himself a middle-class Joe, as if he somehow has been one of us at any time in the past 4 decades? Joe Biden has been on the public payroll for 4 decades, and in the antithesis of everything public service is meant to be, Joe Biden became a very wealthy man serving in public office. Now, a majority U.S. senators are millionaires. 54 of the current 100 are worth $1 million and 4 more are worth $900,000. But they all made their fortunes in the private sector. Joe Biden made his as a senator. Joe Biden calling himself a middle-class Joe, while getting rich on the taxpayer's dime, is just an insult to all of our intelligence.
Then there's Julia, who at 5 years old was enrolled in Head Start under Barack Obama. The first of many lies, distortions and half-truths contained within the Life of Julia website. Obama makes it sound as though without him, there would be no Head Start. Of course there would be. The program has enjoyed wide bipartisan support since its inception in 1964. President Reagan expanded it in 1981 and the program was last reauthorized under President Bush in 2007. Obama has had very little to do with Head Start. Of course, in Obama's Orwellian world, all that is good and decent comes from Obama. Not really, but that is the theme of the Obama Chronicles. The creation of an alternative reality where Barack Obama's socialist policies have created a fairer and more prosperous American. Unfortunately, they could not find a real person who has lived that vision, so they had to make one up.
Obama surrogate Hillary Rosen earned the whopper earlier this year when she foolishly stated Ann Romney had never worked a day in her life. Ann Romney actually chose to be a stay-at-home mom and raised 5 kids. For Rosen, who is raising twins adopted with her same-sex partner, to suggest that snot work is beyond stupid. It's beyond mean. And the comment sent horrified Democrats scurrying for cover. To make it worse, Rosen went back on TV and doubled down on her comments, drawing more outrage from the right and squeals of horror from the left. Finally, she issued an apology. The Obama campaign knows that the only reason they're even afloat in this race is because of Obama's advantage with women voters. Once that's gone, Obama has no hope. By the way, raising 5 kids is tough enough when you're healthy. Try doing it while battling breast cancer and multiple sclerosis. Then come and tell me Ann Romney's never worked in her life.
Thanks, Kristen. You can read our analysis on these whoppers and many more on our Daily Borg Whoppers page. Closing thoughts when the Borgcast continues.
Hands can do incredible things. Now they can even help save a life with hands-only CPR. If you see an adult suddenly collapse, just call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. Learn more at handsonlycpr.org.
What if I didn't come from a famous family? What if I didn't have all their support? What if I didn't have all these opportunities? Believe me, it wouldn't be pretty. Pause before you play.
Like George Orwell's bleak version of utopia in his novel, 1984, Barack Obama's great challenge is in getting the populace to believe not just in your vision, but in your version of events. Such is the nature of the Obama campaign. You have a squeaky clean opponent. Call him a felon and demand more of his tax returns. Tell businesses built by individuals that they are government for their success. Job market faltering. Call it a step in the right direction even if you are on tape having criticized job formation 4 times as great. That is the ongoing plot of the Obama Chronicles. The fictional retelling of the past 4 years in a theme that makes a failed president out to be either heroic or a victim of his adversaries. A man who deserves your vote and your pity. It's my hope that a majority of voters will not be fooled. But polls are close enough that I fear enough voters might be. You have been assimilated.